Welcome back to On the Sideline. Thanks for joining me. I'm your host, Keon Lee. In this week's episode, we recap all the craziness from week 15 of the NFL season, discuss why I'm a little bit worried about the Patriots after their brutal loss to the Bills, discuss my thoughts on the Joe Burrow comments that he shared out this past week, and why I'm still not giving up on the Packers despite having another tough injury on their team and more. Before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn that post notification bell, like this video, and comment down below if you think Joe Burrow is going to be a Bengal next season. Without further ado, let's get into the video. So starting off week 15, we have probably the craziest game I've seen out of week 15. I didn't watch it, unfortunately, but I got score updates. And that was the Bucks and the Falcons. And this game was actually coming down to the wire. You got Kirk Cousins, who played really well. He had 373 yards passing, three touchdowns. He did take a sack. Uh, Rushing was led by Bijan Robinson with 93 yards and a touchdown. Receiving was led by Kyle Pitts, who probably had his best game as a Falcon with 166 yards and three touchdowns. And defensively, like it was just a sack feast for this Falcons defense. James Pierce Jr. had two sacks. Lakel London had a sack. Brandon Dorless had a sack. Devon DeBallo had a half a sack. Jalen Walker had the other half a sack. And D. Alfred got the interception. As for the Bucks, I mean, th this game like hurts. I mean, you got Baker Mayfield who tried to like help this team win. He had 277 yards and two touchdowns. Bucky Irvin was shut down with 60 yards rushing. Receiving was led by Chris Godwin with 132 yards. Mike Evans, sorry. My bad, y'all. Receiving with 132 yards. Chris Godwin caught the touchdown. Devin Culp had a touchdown. And outside of Christian Eason, Levante David and Jacob Parrish and Hassan Reddick, there was nothing the defense could do in this one. Next game up, we got the Ravens and the Bengals. And honest to God, this might have been the worst game I have seen Joe Burrow play in a while, you know? And keep in mind, I don't watch a ton of Bengals games, so don't get on my ass in the comments. Uh, as you can see by the Ravens, Lamar had a really weird game with 150 yards passing, two touchdowns and interception. He was sacked four times in this game. Derrick Henry had 100 yards rushing. Receiving was led by Zay Flowers with 68 yards and a touchdown. Rashawn Ali had the receiving touchdown. And defensively, I mean, if you could exclude Marlon Humphrey, John Jenkins, and Kyle Van Noy, and Travis Jones, and of course Mike Green and Tavius Robinson, it wasn't a dominant win, I'd say. I know they shut them out, but it wasn't a dominant win. As for the Bengals, as I said, this was the worst game I've seen Joe Burrow play. Like 225 yards passing, two interceptions, and three sacks. Rushing was led by Chase Brown with 53 yards. Jamar Chase was solid. He had 132 yards passing, receiving, goal and 10 receptions. And outside of Demetrius Knight Jr. and Miles Murphy, they couldn't do anything, which was kind of sad. Next game up, we got the Raiders and the Eagles, and honest to God, this game was boring. I mean, 64 yards passing from Kenny Pickett. Uh, Ashton Genty had 35 yards rushing in this game. Brock Bowers had 28 yards passing, and outside Max Crosby, it was just ugly, man. As for the Eagles, I mean, Jalen Hurts was solid in this game, 175 yards passing and three touchdowns. He was sacked once by Max Crosby, but other than that, he was great. Saquon was solid with 78 yards rushing and a touchdown. Receiving was led by Dallas Scott with two touchdowns. AJ Brown caught a touchdown. And Brandon Graham, Moro Ojama, and Nolan Smith Jr. got the four sacks. As for the next game, we got the Cardinals and the Texans. And like I said before, this game was going to be a blowout. All right. And everyone should not be surprised. Peeking at the Cardinals, I mean, Jacoby Brissett did everything he could to help this team win, but it wasn't enough, man. 249 yards passing for Jacoby, three touchdowns and interception. He was sacked twice. Rushing was led by Michael Carter with 56 yards rushing. Receiving was led by Trey McBride, who's with two touchdowns, and Michael Wilson caught the lone other touchdown. Michael Wilson's been balling, by the way, in case anyone hasn't noticed. And their defense outside of Walter Nolan could not do anything in this game. As for the Texans, I mean, CJ was amazing. Like 260 yards passing and three touchdowns. Johar Jordan had 101 yards rushing. Receiving was led by Nico Collins, who was absolutely amazing with two touchdowns. Dalton Schultz caught a touchdown, and even though they got two sacks, it just felt like it was just like hammer to nail. Oh yeah, Kamari Lassiter had the interception. Next game up, we got the Chargers and the Chiefs. And even though I am a Chiefs hater, I don't like the Chiefs. All right, this game, I kind of felt bad for them. I mean, you got Justin Herbert, who did not play well in this game. Okay, I'm gonna be real with you. He did not play well in this game. He actually has not played well in the past few weeks, including this week. He had 210 yards passing and a touchdown interception. He was sacked four times in this game. Rushing was led by Amarian Hampton with 61 yards. Receiving, Orlando Getson had the second had led all teams with 61 yards, and defensively, Odafe had two sacks. Tuli Tupuola had two sacks. Khalil Mack had a sack, and it was just ugly. Dalen Henley had an interception. Derwin James had an interception. It just was ugly. As for the Chiefs, I mean, Patrick Mahomes had 189 yards passing and an interception. He was sacked five times in this game. Gardner Minshew did everything he could to help this team win. He had 22 yards and interception. Rushing was led by Isaiah Pacheco with 21 yards. Patrick Mahomes had 15 yards rushing and a scoring touchdown. Receiving was led by Travis Kelce, and outside of Jalen Watson, Jane Hicks, and Charles Omoya and Ashton Gillett, and it was just an ugly game. And little do we know that this was going to be the last game for Patrick Mahomes this season. Next game up, we got the Bills and the Patriots. And honest to God, this I'm going to say this later about the Patriots. I'm a little bit worried about them. All right. I'm going to explain, as I've said before, I'm going to explain later why I'm a little bit worried about them. Josh Allen was amazing in this game. He had three touchdowns, 193 yards passing. James Cook was also amazing with 170 yards rushing and two touchdowns. Receiving was led by Khalil Shakir with 65 yards, but it was Dawson Knox who caught the two of the three touchdowns. James Cook also caught a receiving touchdown. And defensively, Matt Milano had and Greg Russo had the game of their life with three sacks, and Tre'Davious White had the interception. Pretty good stuff. As for the Patriots, I mean, this was probably Drake May's worst game this season, which is kind of saying a lot, considering that he doesn't have a bad game. But nah, Travion Henderson was amazing with two touchdowns. Drake May also had two touchdowns as well. Receiving was led by Mac Hollins with 41 yards receiving. And outside Jack Gibbons and Harold Landry Jr., they could not do anything for the New England Patriots. Next game up, we got the Jets and the Jaguars. And I said it before, and I'll say it again. If you follow me on TikTok, I said the Jags were going to win the AFC. Or getting closer to winning the AFC South. And I proved it right there. I know it was against the Jets, but still. You got Brady Cook, who had 176 yards passing and a touchdown and three interceptions. He was also sacked three times. Isaiah Davis had a touchdown. Receiving was led by Donis Mitchell with 58 yards receiving. And defensively, outside of Brandon Stephens and Malachi Moore, they could not do anything to stop this Jaguars offense. Speaking of the Jaguars offense, what a game from Trevor Lawrence. I will if I had three words to describe this game, I would call it the Trevor Show, the T-Law Show. You got him going for 330 yards passing and five touchdowns. He also got a rushing touchdown in this game. Receiving was led by Travis Etienne with three receiving touchdowns. Brian Thomas Jr. had the touchdown. Basala Tootin had 16 yards and a rushing touchdown. The sack was Eric Murray, Dennis Gardick, and BJ Green. And interceptions were caught by Ventrell Miller, Monte Eric Brown, and Antonio Johnson. Next game up, we got the Commanders and the Giants, and honest to God, this game was just weird, weird, and weird. I mean, you got Marcus Mariota going for 211 yards passing, a touchdown, and 2 sacks. Jacoby Crosset Merritt had a touchdown in this game. Terry McLaurin had a receiving touchdown. Sacks were led by Von Miller. Mike Sorensky had the interception. Javon Kinlaw, when did he become a Commander? Had a forced fumble, but that was just pretty much it. As for the Giants, I mean, they tried to do everything they could. Jackson Dart was solid in this game. He had 246 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. He also did throw an interception. Rushing was led by Tyrone Tracy with 70 yards rushing and a touchdown. And receiving was led by Theo Johnson with 72 yards, but Wandell Robinson and Tyrone Tracy both caught the receiving touchdown. And defensively, Abdul Carter probably had his best game as a Giant with 2 forced fumbles and a fumble recovery. Donnie Belton had 2 forced fumbles to go along with the sack. Abdul Carter also had a sack. It just was a weird game. That's all I gotta say. Next game up, we got the biggest blowout of the game. We got the Bears and the Browns, and I don't know what to say, man. You know, Shador Sanders had his worst game of the year. Period. I know he started a few games, but this was probably his worst game I've seen him play. He had 177 yards passing and 3 interceptions and 5 sacks. Rushing was led by Shador Sanders with 24 yards. Receiving was led by Isaiah Bond with 89 yards. And defensively, outside of Myles Garrett and, of course, Shelby Harris and Alex Wright, they could not do anything. As for the Bears, Caleb Williams was solid in this game. He wasn't spectacular. Okay. He had 242 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. He was also sacked 3 times. Rushing was led by DeAndre Swift with 2 touchdowns. Receiving was led by Luther Burton with 84 yards, but it was actually DJ Moore who caught the touchdowns. And defensively, I mean, you got Grady Jarrett going for a sack, Austin Booker going for 2 sacks, DeMarco Jackson had a sack, Gervin Dexter Sr. had a sack, and of course, Jalen Johnson had an interception, Jackson had an interception, and CJ Gardner Johnson had the interception. It just was ugly. Next game up, oh my God, we got the Panthers and the Saints, and I don't even know what to say about this game, if I'm going to be honest with you. All right. Bryce Young was solid. He had 160 yards passing and a touchdown, and he was sacked once. Rico Dowdle had 49 yards rushing and a touchdown. Receiving was led by Jalen Coker with 60 yards and a touchdown. And that's a few players. This game, the Panthers just lost again. Like I don't even know what to make of this Panthers team. As for the Saints, I mean, Tyler Shaw had 270 yards passing and a touchdown. He was also sacked 5 times in this game, which was kind of nuts. He also ran it in for 32 yards. Devin Neal had the rushing touchdown. Receiving was led by Chris Olave with a touchdown, and defensively, outside of a few key players like Chase Young, they could not do anything. As for the next game, what's the next? We got the Lions and the Rams, and honest to God, this game was electric. This game was electric. You got Jared Goff going for 338 yards passing and 3 touchdowns and interception. 3 touchdowns. He was also sacked in this game, which is kind of crazy. David Montgomery had a rushing touchdown. Amon-Ra St. Brown had himself a day with 164 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. Jameson Williams also had a great game. He also had a sack as well, and like a touchdown as well with 134 yards passing. And outside of Aiden Hudson and Jack Campbell, they couldn't do anything. As for the Rams, I mean, Matthew Stafford was amazing. I mean, 368 yards passing and 2 touchdowns and interception. He was also sacked twice. Kyron Williams had 2 touchdowns. Blake Corum had a rushing touchdown. Puka Nacua, receiving was led by Puka Nacua with 181 yards passing. Kobe Parkinson had 2 touchdowns in this game. And defensively, outside Kobe Turner, they couldn't do anything, but at least their offense was electric. Next game we got, is it? No, okay, thank God. We got the Lions and the Seahawks. And honest to God, I thought this game was a lot more interesting than a lot of people were saying it was. I mean, you got Phillip Rivers going for 120 yards passing and a touchdown and interception. You know, he also was sacked once. Jonathan Taylor was non-existent with 87 yards rushing. Receiving was led by Amir Abdullah, which I have not heard that name in years, with 32 yards. And defensively, outside Latia Latu, they could, and of course, Nick Cross, they could not do anything. As for the Seahawks, I mean, Sam Darnold was okay in this game. He had 271 yards passing in this game. Zach Charbonnet had 31 yards rushing. Receiving was led by Jackson Smith-Njigba with 113 yards. And outside of Nick Emanumari and Kobe Bryant, they could not do anything. Also, shout out Jason Myers for making all 6 of their points, which is nuts. Next game up, we got the Packers and the Broncos. And honest to God, I don't even know what to make of this game. Like, I don't know what to say. Okay, Jordan Love was not that good with 276 yards passing and 2 interceptions. He was also sacked 3 times. Josh Jacobs was solid with 73 yards rushing and a touchdown. Receiving was led by Matthew Golden with 55 yards receiving. Josh Jacobs did catch the rushing touchdown. And defensively, they couldn't do anything outside of maybe Micah Parsons and Adrian Cooper again, that fumble. Little do we know that was going to be Micah Parsons' last game of the season. As for the Broncos, you gotta give them credit, man. They fought hard. They showed why they're the number one seed in the AFC. You know, you got Bo Nix going for 302 yards passing and 4 touchdowns. R.J. Harvey had a rushing touchdown. Receiving was led by Cortland Sutton with 113 yards receiving and a touchdown. Troy Franklin had a touchdown. Little Jordan Humphrey had a touchdown. Michael Bandy had a touchdown. And defensively, Riley Moss and Patrick Surtain played well. Jonathan Cooper, DeAndre Tillman, Jonah Ellis, you guys balled out, man. And of course, Zach Allen. Hats off to you, Denver. You guys deserve this win. Next up, we got the Titans and the Niners. And honest to God, why was this game somewhat close? I mean, you got Cam Ward, who had 170 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. You got Tony Pollard, who had another 100-yard game with 104 yards rushing and a touchdown. Receiving was led by Gunnar Helm with 49 yards passing and a touchdown. Jeffrey Simmons also caught a touchdown. Where have we seen that? And outside Jeffrey Simmons and Jalen Harrell, they could not do anything in this game defensively. As for the Niners, Brock Purdy was solid in this game. He had 295 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. Rushing was led by Christian McCaffrey with a touchdown. Receiving was led by Ricky Pearsall with 96 yards, but George Kittle and Juwan James both caught the touchdown. And their defense did not do anything. But it's understandable because the offense carried. And finally, next up, we got the Vikings and the Cowboys. And honest to God, this game was very weird. Like, this was probably the weirdest game I've ever seen played in the NFL, just because the Vikings won. You got J.J. McCarthy, who had 250 yards passing, 2 touchdowns and interception. He also ran it in for a touchdown, and C.J. Ham also got a rushing touchdown. Receiving was led by Jalen Naylor with 47 yards and 2 touchdowns. And defensively, they couldn't do anything, but their offense stepped up. As for the Cowboys, I mean, what can you say about this, man? This was embarrassing. You got Dak going for 294 yards passing and 2 sacks. Javonte Williams had a rushing touchdown. Malik Davis had a rushing touchdown. Receiving was led by CeeDee Lamb with 111 yards receiving. And outside Quinton Williams, the defense could not do anything. And finally, we got the Dolphins and the Steelers. And honestly, God, this game was actually really fun to watch. A little bit. You know, it was boring, but it picked up real quick. Tua went for 250 yards passing, 2 touchdowns and interception. He was also sacked 4 times. Devon Achane had 60 yards rushing. Receiving was led by Devon Achane with 67 yards, but Darren Waller both caught the touchdowns. And outside of Jordan Burks and Zach Seiler, they could not do anything defensively. As for the Steelers, Aaron was amazing with 224 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. He was also sacked 3 times. Kenneth Gainwell had 8 yards rushing. John Smith had a rushing touchdown. Connor Hayward had a rushing touchdown. Receiving was led by DK Metcalf with a touchdown. MVS had a receiving touchdown. And Jalen Ramsey, Cameron Hayward, Peyton Wilson, and of course, Izzy Otemo had a sack, and Asante Samuel Jr. had the interception. So those are my thoughts for week 15 of the NFL season. Let me know in the comment section below what you think. So we're going to briefly talk about the Patriots before I start about everything else. I'm sorry if this video seems kind of long. I'm really tired right now. Okay. But um, I'll explain this sometime next episode if I get to it, about the Patriots. They showed a lot of people in that game against the Bills one weakness that they have, and that's their offensive line, particularly their left side. Okay. Like the Patriots this year have had a really good offensive line, but their left side has been kind of hurt due to a ton of injuries. Obviously, you don't have Will Campbell, which kind of stings because like he was playing amazing as a left tackle, you know. But that is my biggest, but like you're not going to be able to win in the playoffs without a good offensive line, in my opinion. So that's my biggest takeaway from that. I also think that the Bills, like the Patriots, like let the Bills hang around. You cannot do that. All right, I understand the Patriots, like you want to play aggressive. You just cannot do that. And I don't know, man. It just worries me that this team is about to be a first round exit in year one of the Mike Vrabel and Drake May area. That's tough, man. So yeah, I'm gonna go say offensive line needs work for the Patriots. I know it's not a good explanation on why I thought the Patriots lost on Sunday, but if I'm the Patriots right now, if I'm Mike Vrabel, I'm telling our team we gotta be able to protect Drake May at all costs. Because when you play against a defense, when you're in a conference that has two, maybe three, maybe four of the best defensive teams statistically and literally and talent wise, the Steelers, the Broncos, the Texans, the Bills. You're going to be in a dogfight. So if I'm Mike Vrabel, I'm telling our team we got to protect Drake May at all costs. But yeah. Now moving on to our next segment, we're going to be discussing about the Micah Parsons injury because as many of you guys know, Micah got hurt on Sunday, and a lot of people have been asking me what are my initial thoughts about it. And honest to God, I feel sick to my stomach right now because this dude was amazing, this year. He was absolutely tremendous. But as I said earlier, I think they're going to be fine. All right. But with that being said, the offense, we got to step up. Okay. We got to run the football like crazy with Josh Jacobs. I hope Christian Watson plays this weekend against the Bears because that would be huge in that game. All right. I also think that Lucas Van Ness, Rashawn Gary, it's go time. All right. It's time to rev it up. All right. It's absolutely time to freaking rev it up. All right. We got to show them who the boss is. All right. This is our division. All right. I literally told my brother this past week, if you want to win the NFC North, you got to go through the Packers. All right. You got to go through the Packers. All right. This is my division. I know Detroit has won the past few years, but in terms of between the Packers and the Bears, this is my division. This is my division. All right. You want to win the North? Prove that you want to win the North. All right. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on the Packers. Let's get into our week 16 NFL picks this week. Last week, I didn't get a chance to record last week just because, apparently my laptop didn't save it. So, we're just going to roll with these right now. So, bear with me. I will probably have my record sometime next week, hopefully. But, everything is up in the air. So let's start with Thursday Night Football. The Rams at the Seahawks. Game 2. It's in Seattle. And at the time I'm recording this video right now, Davante Adams is a will see in this game. Without Davante Adams, I'm going to still take the Rams in this game 27-24. I think the Seahawks are going to keep it close. I expect Sam Darnold to have a much better game than he did in game 1, but give me the team that has the better team in the Rams 27-24. Next game up, we got the Eagles and the Commanders. I got to take the Eagles here, man. All right, the Commanders just do not look good. Okay. I do think the Commanders are going to keep it close because that Commanders team is like they played really well last week, even though it was against the Giants. Give me the Eagles, though, to win this game 27-17. Next game up, we got the Packers and the Bears. Game two. You know I'm pumped up for this game. Give it to me. Yeah, I know. I'm taking the Packers. Okay, I'm taking the Packers to win this game. All right. Jordan Love needs to break out. It's time to go, man. It's time to work. All right. Jaden Reed, I'm expecting a huge game from you. Christian, if you're back healthy, I expect a monster game from you. Josh, you know what to do. Lay the fucking hammer down. All right. Lucas Van Ness, Rashawn Gary, it's go time now. Give me the Packers to win this game 24-23. Next game up, we got the Vikings and the Giants. This is a very interesting game right here. I am going to take the Vikings in this one, but I won't be shocked at all if the Giants keep it close. I just think right now, if I look at this Vikings team and they're looking to play some spoiler, even though the Giants are not in the playoffs right now, they're looking to play some spoiler. All right, but give me the Vikings to win this game 23-17. Next game up, we got the Chiefs and the Titans. Jesus Christ. I'm gonna take the Chiefs to win this game. I look. I think the Titans are gonna keep it close, man. I think Cam Ward is gonna play really well in this game, but give me the Chiefs to win this game 20-17. Next game up, we got the Colts, the Chargers, and the Cowboys. A very good game. I gotta take the Chargers here, man. I'm gonna take the Chargers to win this game 27-25. All right. I expect Dak to have a much better game. I expect CeeDee Lamb to continue to play well. The only way I can see the Cowboys win this game is if they could shut down that Chargers offense. And right now, as I looked at them last week, they can't. Give me the Chargers to win this game 27-25. Next game up, we got the Jets and the Saints. My God, do I have to pick a winner in this one? I'll pick the Jets. All right. They've been pretty solid these past few weeks. They've been solid, you know. All right. I do think the Saints are going to keep it close, but give me the Jets to win this game 21-17. We'll go with that. Next game up, we got the Bills and the Browns. A very good game. I'm going to take the Bills. As crazy as that sounds, I'm going to take the Bills to win this game 23-20. All right. I expect Myles Garrett to have a big game in this one. All right. But I trust Josh Allen more than I trust Shedeur Sanders. Give me the Bills to win this game. Next game up, we got the Panthers and the Bucks. Game one. Do I have to pick a winner in this one? No, like seriously, do I have to pick a winner? I don't want to. Fine. Pick the Bucks to win this game 24-23. All right. Bengals and Dolphins. Very interesting game right here. Regardless, I'm going to take the Bengals. I think they're pissed off at what happened last week. I expect this game to be a shootout, as crazy as that sounds. I expect this game to be a shootout in this game. Give me the Bengals, though, to win this game 27-24. Next game up, we got the Falcons and the Cardinals. I'm going to take the Falcons here to win this game. We'll go 27-19. All right. Cardinals are frisky. All right. Michael Wilson, Trey McBride have been balling out of their minds these past few weeks. But give me the better quarterback in Kirk Cousins. Give me the Falcons to win this game 27-19. Next game up, we got the Jaguars and the Broncos. This is going to be a very fun game to watch. I actually might watch this game. I don't, like I said before, I normally don't watch a ton of games unless it's the Packers. All right, you got strength versus strength, talent versus talent. But with that said, I'm gonna have to take the Broncos here. If this was in Jacksonville, I would say I would pick Jacksonville. But it's in Denver. Give me the Broncos to win this game 28-27. Steelers and the Lions. Jesus Christ, do I have to pick a winner? As I think about it now, I haven't picked my upset pick yet. Aaron, please prove me wrong. Please prove me wrong. Give me the Lions to win this game 27-24. Texans and the Raiders. Texans, man. 28-10. Then we got the Patriots and the Ravens. I guess you could call this my upset pick of the week. Give me the Ravens, man. to win this game. We'll go 27-26. And finally, the nightcap, the 49ers and the Colts. Give me the 49ers, man. They're rolling right now. Give me the 49ers to win this game 23-20. And those are my week 16 NFL picks. So what are your guys' thoughts on this week's episode? I know this was kind of rapid face. It's just I'm really tired, okay? I went to bed really late last night, so I'm a little bit tired. But with that being said, have a fantastic rest of your week. Stay safe, stay warm out there, and I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.